Good evening and welcome to Divine Healing Valley Spirituality and Healing Meet. And today is Wednesday session. And let me welcome all of you for this session after a long break. We have approximately 1 month break before we had this session around the Dashera. And now we are coming here in the mid of November, right? Okay, so the agenda for the session today. Is conversations with God. And as many of you have seen my post, the topic is about what kind of conversations would you like to have with God if He came face to face with you in human form, right? So all of us are full of queries, doubts, questions, which we want answers from the divine, from the God. So let's have some sharing before we move on to what kind of conversations the God will have with us. First of all, let us understand what kind of conversation we want to have with God, right? So who would like to share? Kaun batana chahenge? Yes, Tony, go ahead.
Well, I think what I feel is that if God is standing in front of me and He's present there, I think I'll be probably speechless, and I would just like to cry my heart out.
Okay, so you like to cry your heart out. Okay.
Yes.
So a lot of grief or sorrow or whatever is pent up in your heart.
Whatever, yeah.
So you would like to outpour that, right? So
Yes.
pour out that, all that as if
without saying anything, because I'll be in total awe of His persona.
Got it.
So I think I would not be able to speak much, but I would like to cry my heart out for
Okay.
Him to understand. For Him to understand my the language of my tears.
Okay. Okay. So you want God to understand the language of your tears, and you would like
which
to.
I know He will understand.
Yeah, of course He will understand.
Yeah.
So you will cry your heart out till He.
Correct.
He understands your pain and grief, and of course the next step is that He's going to remove it, right?
Yeah.
So that is why you are telling Him, no? So if
correct,
you
correct.
like a child goes to the father and cries out, what he wants? He wants to express his pain so that father understands the pain, and then he removes all the pain and gives him possibly a chocolate also, make him smile again. So that is a kind of relationship we have with God, father son. Yes, good, not bad. So that is a good approach to having a conversation with God, right? Okay, let's have some more people share. Anybody else who would like to share? क्या आप बोलना चाहेंगे? What would you like to talk to God before He says anything? What will your starting conversation be with God if He came face to face with you? Yes. Anybody else?
I think
Yeah.
there are a couple of things I ask myself, and also I would like to ask God also. It is about the theory and the very genesis of karma. So for example, not for example, but exactly why in the first place, the very logic or the terminology of karma came into existence, and why there was a need to probably take birth to first create good karma or bad karma, whatever, and then clear those karmas as well, and to be able to be on a journey which reaches something called samadhi, nirvana, moksha, or whatever. So why in the first place the very currency of karma probably was made?
So you're asking, you want to ask God the universal law of karma. Why did it came into existence? Why did you put this law of karma into our human life? Correct? Like that?
Correct.
All right, good.
Correct.
So that is one question that has been burning humanity since eternity, I would say, right? Because law of karma is something which people or human mind doesn't really understand completely. So why the hell did you start all the game? Why did you start all this game? Right? That is the question. All right, good. Okay,
Yeah,
anybody else? Anybody else who would like? Huh?
Just to add one
Yes.
thing,
One second. Amit ji, aap complete kariye. Amit ji, please complete. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, because it comes from the thought that even after understanding law, having a lot of spiritual wisdom and understanding what is samadhi and this is all matrix or maya, and understanding that everything is here and now, yeah, then still we have something called dukkha or sukha, and then the theory or the thought of the karma comes into the being and the mind, And then वही होता है in the very first place कर्मा अच्छे या बुरे दोनों ही क्यों हुए, for example.
Okay, got it. So that is the same thing that you are trying to understand, right? Yeah. More explanation of why. Why is not required. God understands all that. If you just simply ask him, why did you put this law of karma? That is a good question. All right. So that is one question that you can raise to God. Okay. Yes, Alokji, you wanted to say something?
I think first, if I meet the God, then if I initial say that hello, yeah, wo, like everything is all right. Then after that, okay, you have created earth, then people, then human beings. So everything is good, life is good, other things. But why is there so much of injustice, crime? Why is so much of suffering?
Now we are coming
you
to
have
the
given life, then
coming to the deep questions, huh? Why the world is
Why?
full of suffering and misery? Why don't you do anything to stop it? Why don't
No,
you end
no,
the
you have
suffering
given us
right
life.
now?
You have given us life, so why is so much suffering?
Okay. Okay. So we will come to that, huh? I will try to give the answer like what the God would probably give you, but not now. First, let me have the questions. So why is suffering and misery happening in this world? Why is God not doing anything to stop it? Or rather, why don't you stop it? That's what you're going to ask God, right? Why don't you stop all the sufferings and miseries in life right now? The war is going on, so you don't know ages. Since years, the war is going on, months, war is going on, poverty, people are dying, all the kind of violence that we see every day, all these things are happening. Why don't you stop this? Right, good question. Anyone else who would like to know? What kind of question you would like to ask God?
I would also like to ask people that we love and care for why they get removed from our lives or why they pass on, or I mean something of that kind. If they
Come again. What passes on?
Like people who we love
Mhm.
and they pass on in life and are
Okay.
no more in our lives. So why that kind of a thing should have
Okay.
happened?
All right. So the question of birth and death. Okay. So
Yeah.
the eternal question of birth and death. Why is birth and death happening? That, of course, that is part of the question which Amitji had raised. Law of karma. Why is the law of karma happening? So that is inclusive of that. Okay. But birth and death, more specific. Why is birth and death happening? So good question. All right. Let me have more questions. Nikita ji, any question from your side? I hope you're there because your video is frozen. I don't know. Or is my video frozen? No? Yeah. Okay. That's fine. She's there. Yes, Nikita, anything you would like to share? Though your video, your picture is not clear. Huh? Anything you would like to share? That's fine.
Nothing for now. Thank you.
Okay. That's fine. All right. Anybody else who has any question?
Yeah, I would like to meet the God if there is any possibilities. Immediately, I don't have any question with him, but immediately I bring God to my village. At least I would like to show 11 villages for God to eradicate their grievances. The second question, I would ask God to appoint each village a honest, powerful head to each village, each town, each city. There should be a powerful man. He should be very honestly. He have every power, finance, law and order, whatever the people's need, all power should he have. So I request God to appoint each village a powerful head.
Only for the 11 villages. So you want powerful leaders only for the 11 villages. What about the rest of the world?
For 11 villages, God has to visit. Remaining villages, city, and all countries, God should appoint a representative.
Okay.
A honest representative.
Got it. Yeah. So God should represent. Yeah. God should fix the representatives for all the villages, all the cities, all the states, all the countries, all over the world, right? So that is the responsibility of God that you want to.
Yes.
All right. Good. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else who has more demands from the God? Any more demands coming from God? और क्या चाहते हो भगवान से क्या करे वो? All right, so that is sufficient. We have a huge data bank now for questions to God, right? So let us look at the possible answers. Ready for it? Ready for the answers? All right. Okay, so the first question that comes to is, we will take the question of why is suffering and misery happening in life? So that includes wars, that includes poverty, that includes violence, whatever you can think of. Why is suffering and misery happening on the planet Earth? Okay, we don't know about the other planets, so let's stick to our planet. Now, what do you think God will answer? Who created sufferings and miseries on the planet Earth? Did God create them? Or humans created them? Inquire into it.
If we accept God is there, we have to accept that He only created the universe.
Yeah, He created the universe. So He created the mineral kingdom. He created the plant kingdom. Okay, it evolved from there. So the whole universe was created. Physical universe was created by the divine. We can say that. Okay. So the whole universe as such. So the solar system, all the Milky Way, all the galaxies, everything was created by God. Right? And on Earth also we can say that the mountains and the rivers, so the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the animal kingdom possibly, right? And also the human kingdom to some extent came as an evolution part, which is the design of God. Right? But when did God create suffering and misery? Tell me. You are asking God to end the suffering and misery as if He created it. Who created suffering and misery? Who is robbing each other? Who is killing each other? Think about it. Some of the species, like animals, they do that for food. That's fine. If they're hunting for food, and if the higher forms eat the lower forms, that is part of their growing nature, right? They have to survive. So the tiger and the lions will eat the herbivores. So deers and rabbits and all will be eaten up by the flesh-eating animals. That's fine. And the herbivores will actually eat the plants. So the lower form is always surrendering to the higher form. The plant kingdom is surrendering to the animal kingdom is surrendering to the human kingdom. That is how the evolution goes, right? But who is creating suffering and misery? If a lion eats a rabbit, there is no suffering or misery. It is just an act which is happening. But when a human being kills another human being, in fact, humans are the only species who kill each other. Lions don't kill each other. Tigers don't kill each other. Rabbits don't kill each other. But humans kill each other. So who is actually creating the suffering and misery? Humans. So who is going to end that? Humans. How? Because they have their free will. They have been given the free will. Right now, you have a choice to attend this session or not to attend this session. You have a choice, right? And every choice will have a consequence. Similarly, every action has a consequence and you are free to do your actions. You can forgive somebody, you can kill somebody. Choice is there. So as God, the response would be, who created the suffering and misery? You. So you go and end it. Why are you blaming me for that? Why do you want me to intervene? You have been given a free will. Go and end your sufferings. Go and end your miseries. Yes, Tony, you wanted to share something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing that bilkul, when a human being will ask God that why there is so much of suffering and why there is so much of misery, the best answer will be that okay, I never created all this misery, all this suffering. It is you who created it. But one question which arises from here is that God, you were the one who made the human, then why didn't you give us इतनी सद्बुद्धि आपने उनको क्यों दी थी कि भाई वो peacefully रहे instead of having war?
Very good. So the next question comes is, why is the right understanding not coming to the human beings?
Mindset उनको
Divine has already laid out the natural laws, the universal laws. All the universal laws are very clear to everybody. But people don't understand it. So it is the right understanding of the human beings which will decide their actions. Yes or no?
No, correct.
So, सबसे पहले, the first job of a human being is what? The right understanding. Before you do any karma, before you decide what is your dharma, you have to first really understand the universal laws and the natural laws, so that you have the right understanding before you do any kind of action. And that right understanding is what is you are mentioning as Sadbuddhi. Right understanding hoga, to right action honge, to right karma hoga. And then you will be on the path of dharma. Then you will not be doing this. So the first understanding is, who am I? That is the first step for a human being. Main hoon kaun? If you think that I am a body and I have a mind, then you are on a wrong understanding. You have to first understand that I am a soul and everybody is a soul. So everybody has to be respected. So the question of killing others and looting others and fighting with others, simply you can drop it just by understanding the right understanding that we are all souls and we are part of the same divine. So if God comes in front of you, the God will only say, you are part of me and everybody is a part of me. Why are you fighting with each other? And you have no answers to it. The problem is that we think we are the body and we are separate. And the way we are living, countries are separate, states are separate, villages are separate, everything is separate from each other. That is why the whole confusion is coming in. Right or wrong?
Right.
As long as the separatism is there, separation is there, the ego is there. And as long as the ego is there, you will never be one with the divine. You will never see the others as divine. India will never see Pakistanis as divine. Pakistanis will never see Indians as divine. क्यों separation हो गया ना? जहां separation होगा वहां oneness हो ही नहीं सकता. वहां पे ego आना ही आना है. So ego will automatically come into place and there is no right understanding. So what is the first job? What is the God really going to tell you first? First, check your understanding, whether it is the right understanding or not, before you do any kind of action. And for the right understanding, the universal laws are there. You have to understand the universal laws. What are the universal laws? One universal law, Amiji raised, law of karma. And before that, law of karma, for more important universal laws, we have covered all that, by the way, in the Wednesday sessions. What is the first and the fundamental universal law? I am divine. All human beings are divine. Law of pure potentiality. We are all souls and we are all divine. That is the first understanding. With this understanding, what is the second universal law that the God will teach? The first understanding the God will teach you is that all human beings are divine. So all of you are equal. So you don't have to, and all of you are one. So you don't have to fight with each other, not to steal from each other, not to kill each other. Live with respect. That is the first lesson. What is the second law? What is the second law? Whatever you give to the universe or whatever you give to others, it has to come back to you. Law of giving and receiving. Do we understand this universal law? This God has already taught us. We don't understand it. Our right understanding doesn't include what everybody wants to take. Ye bhi mil jaye, ye bhi mil jaye, ye bhi mil jaye. They're all grabbing. They're all greedy. Selfishness, greed has overcome us. And we are all grabbing things. Yes or no? Property छीन लो, पैसा छीन लो, relationship में इसको छीन लो, उसको छीन लो, गाड़ी छीन लो, सब छीन लो. Taking. It doesn't work that way. How does life work? The more you give, the more you receive. The more you give to the universe, the more you receive from the universe. Abundance. And if you keep accumulating, you're taking from the universe. What will happen? One fine day, you will suffer a major fraud and you will lose all the money. One day there will be a big theft in your house and you will lose all the belongings. There could be a cyber crime or a whatever cyber fraud, and then you lose all your money. So universe has ways how to take it back from you if you keep accumulating. To understand the right understanding, law of giving and receiving. How many of us understand that? We don't. Yes or no? So right understanding is the first step that God is going to teach you. Right? So हो गया suffering and misery वाला question हो गया पूरा? और अभी भी doubt है इसमें? So God hasn't answered, but God will tell you where to look for the answers. Right? Okay. Second important thing which Amit ji raised, law of karma. Why did the law of karma start? Before that, let me cover what Sylvia ji raised. ये birth and death क्यों होते हैं? Every soul is on a journey. We know that, right? And one lifetime is not sufficient to fulfill all your desires. Okay. So suppose I want to marry 50 women. अभी एक लाइफ में तो पॉसिबल नहीं है ना. तो अगर डिजायर्स पूरी कंप्लीट करूंगा, एटलीस्ट आई विल लीड, चलो एक लाइफ टाइम में 2 भी अगर रख लूं मैं, तो 25 लाइफ टाइम्स आई नीड टू फुलफिल जस्ट वन डिजायर. अभी तो मैं बंगला गाड़ी की बात नहीं की, अभी तो सिर्फ मैं वाइफ की बात करूं. So you will have extramarital affairs also, you will have relationships also, you will have many other things, girlfriends and wives included, because you have to cover 50. बैकलॉग में चल रहा है, अगले जन्म में फिर 50 आ जाएंगे, फिर और बैकलॉग आ जाएगा. समझ रहे हो? So if you have to fulfill all your desires, you need a lot of lifetimes. So this was just an example I gave because people connect with this faster, right? And you have to you have to go through all the range of emotions. आपको तमोगुण में भी रहना है, आपको रजोगुण में भी रहना है, आपको सतोगुण में भी रहना है. प्रोग्रेस होना है धीरे धीरे. तो पहले के लाइफ टाइम्स में आप तमोगुण से निकलोगे, फिर रजोगुण में जाओगे, फिर सतोगुण में जाओगे. दैट मीन्स इफ यू आर प्रोग्रेसिंग, अदरवाइज यू कैन स्पेंड ऑल योर 50 or 100 lifetimes in tamogun only. So how fast you are moving forward on the spiritual journey? So if you are taking the rebirth and rebirth and rebirth, changing forms, obviously the people in your life will also go on doing that, no? और अगर कोई मरा ही नहीं तो क्या होगा सिल्वे जी? इतने लोग मर रहे हैं, उसके बाद आज की पॉपुलेशन का ये हाल है. कोई भी नहीं मरेगा तो क्या होगा? Imagine our grandfathers are also alive. और आपके पोते परपोते सब जिंदा हैं. Big huge family. Everybody has a big huge family. What will we eat? Where will we move? मेट्रो के ऊपर भी जगह नहीं मिलेगी. समझ रहे हैं? So लाइफ को बैलेंस करने के लिए बर्थ हो रहा है तो डेथ तो होना ही पड़ेगा. Even in our body, the cells, all the cells keep growing and the cells don't die. We will die of cancer. That is exactly what cancer is. Right? Unlimited growth of cells multiplying at a very fast pace will result in a disease called cancer. So the whole earth will become a cancer and it will explode. So life and death ka balance zaruri hai. Right? We understand that. It happens in our body also. Every inhalation, every exhalation, cells are dying, cells are getting born. So it is a natural law. So life and death is a natural law. But this is of the form. Life never dies. You are life. You are not the life form, by the way. You are life running through this body, which is called Shashi. You are life running through this body called Sylvia. You are life. You are not the life form. And the life is same in all of us. Only the forms are different. And the forms will keep on changing. That is the truth. This is the right understanding. So if forms keep changing, the life is the same. There is no regret or there is no tragedy in death and there is no rejoice in the birth. It has to happen, it will happen. Now coming to the big question of karma. Amiji, let me ask you a counter question. Law of karma. Why do you think God actually started it? आपसे ही पूछता हूँ, आपने सवाल पूछा था, but मैं आपको ही पूछता हूँ. If you were to answer this question, how would you answer it? Why did God create law of karma?
I did ask this question to myself for many months, weeks now, and I don't have the answer. That's why I'm asking. Or it also comes from the fact that whatever we talk about in terms of attachment, ego, fear, acceptance, unconditional love, after all that, still the one pivotal point that we come to is that everything, all these pains and pleasures are happening because of the karmic accounts that we have to deal with. So then I take a step back that, okay, if it is so, then I'm at least happy that I understand that I'm here in this life to clear my karmas. And today onwards, I drop all my attachments or fears or jealousies or whatever things, or even, tamasic nature, everything. But still, when we take the step back, we still don't get the answer that why in the first place the karma were made as a currency.
You're still explaining the question. I want you to answer it.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer. I don't
You
know the
don't
answer.
know. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Anybody else who would like to give the answer? Why did God create the whole existence right now that we are looking at? And it is called the matrix, by the way. It is called Maya.
Yeah.
So it is all matrix, right? Why do you think God created it? Anybody? So when you ask God, what will be the God's reply? Okay, so I will attempt that. Okay. Imagine if you are the only one. Okay. If you are the only one on this planet Earth, are you tall? Are you short?
Zero.
Are you ugly?
There is nothing.
Are you beautiful? You don't know. How will you experience yourself? Suppose there is no mirror, nothing called mirror also. Can you see your face? No. Can you see yourself? No. Can you experience yourself? No. So God was actually in a fix. How do I experience myself? God doesn't have a body, remember? God is energy, pure energy. Right? So how will God experience himself? Tell me. If God were to come in front of you, God will say, I could not experience myself. That is why I created the whole universe and I created you human beings in my form. Okay. So that when you experience something, I can experience it. Right? God cannot experience. God knows everything. God doesn't have a body. To experience, you should have a body. So the Paramatma actually broke into, in that Big Bang theory, broke into hundreds and hundreds of whatever, take the number, whatever you want, into souls. Now, these souls also cannot experience without a body. So these souls took up a body and came on earth. Now they can experience it. And when the soul experiences it, the God experiences it. So one person is experiencing joy. Another one is experiencing sorrow. One is experiencing greed. One is experiencing misery, suffering, enjoyment, everything. So God can experience everything at one time. That is probably the best answer which I have read or which I have picked up. Why God created the whole universe.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Definitely makes a lot of sense just to experience that same super consciousness would have created something called mind stuff or chit and created this entire cycle.
No, don't go into that. God cannot experience himself. So God broke into the soul. Souls have a body. Since you have a body, you can experience. Simply put it that way right now. What will you experience? That will come later. Okay. And also the souls, when they come, they forget that they are divine. Amnesia. Gods in amnesia, we call them, right? The souls. Because if the soul knew that they are divine, then the game is over. So the soul don't know that they are divine. They have to experience it, the godliness in them. How will they experience it? First, they will go through the tamasic qualities. Then they will evolve. Then they will go through the rajasic qualities. Then they will evolve through the sattvic qualities. Then they will come to nirgun. Then they realize, oh, I am good divine. And then they go back to the God. Making sense? That is why the whole creation was done. That is why God wanted to create the whole existence, because God wanted to experience. God knows everything but cannot experience it. Doesn't have a body. Right? That is why we are all avatars. We have a body. We are God in human form. We have a form. And we are the only ones who can raise our consciousness to God consciousness. Who is having this disturbance? Please go on mute. Every time I can't put you on mute. If you see some disturbance, go on mute. Yeah. So I hope I'm making sense, because this was the best answer. When I asked this question, I had asked this question long time back. I didn't get the answer for long. And then finally I read this as an answer. And this was in the book, by the way, Conversations with God. So it made a lot of sense to me. Okay, this is a good answer. I don't know whether it is true or not, but it gave me the peace of mind that, okay, this is one of the best answers that I have come across. Right? So that is why we are here. And every soul is on a journey. Somebody who is in the tamasic zone will experience all the negative qualities of selfishness, greed, all सारे विकार आ जाएंगे. काम, क्रोध, मोह, लोभ, मद, मत्सर, ईर्ष्या, द्वेष, छल, आलस, हट, राग, द्वेष, भय, सब आ जाएगा. सब तामसिक है. उसको पार करके जाओगे तो राजसिक में आओगे. और उसको भी पार करके जाओगे, इवॉल्व करके ऊपर जाओगे. That means higher consciousness through the chakras, in the chakra technology or chakra nomenclature. Then you come to the third eye where you are still in the satogun. So tamas ho gaya, rajas ho gaya, and satogun mein aa gaye. And that is where we talk of what? We talk of love, peace, power, purity, divinity, happiness, bliss, wisdom, joy, harmony, trust, reverence, forgiveness, gratitude, unconditional love, compassion. ये सब चीजें आ गई. ये सात्विक है. और यहाँ को भी पार करके जब जाओगे, then you know that you are one with the divine when you reach the nirgun. So that is the journey of each soul. That is where we are up to. And that is why we are taking different life forms. Yes? एकदम सन्नाटा छा गया. So let me just understand where people are. Huh? Okay. So any questions, any doubts? Because I have answered most of the questions which were raked up today. So I have answered why karma, I have answered birth and death, and I have tried to answer the existence, why did it happen this way, and of course, why God is not going to do anything about the sufferings and miseries, because he didn't create it. It is up to us. Whether it is pollution, whether it is hunger, whether it is people dying of hunger, whether it is violence, whether it is war, we human beings can decide to end it in one day. But are we going to take that choice? Are we going to make that choice? No. People are busy fighting wars. People are still busy fighting, dropping bombs and killing each other. Terrorism. They are killing people in the hope that they will reach heaven when they are actually living in heaven. I read this about Kashmir. People were living in heaven, but then they started killing each other, hoping that after they die, they will reach heaven when they were actually living in heaven. See the irony of it. So people kill thinking that they will go to heaven after that. If you are doing an act of violence, how can you be one with God? How can you be one with divine? So this is evolution. You have to understand the process of evolution of the human consciousness. And that is what God is trying to teach us through the universal laws. To have the right understanding first. And then we can move on to the next level of evolution. All right, a lot of gyan. Let's have some questions. Let's have some sharings, and then we close this session. All right, who else wants to share? Any questions? By the way, let me first check who all raised the questions. Have they got the answers? So Sylvia ji, did you get the answer? Okay, perfect. Amit ji, did you get the answer? You said yes, right? All right, good. Tony, you want to share something? Go ahead.
Yeah, just one little query. When you say that we should actually have the right understanding, right? So like अगर हम पूरे ब्रह्मांड का रेशियो निकाल के देखेंगे तो रेशियो में लगभग 1% से भी कम लोग होंगे जिनको सही मायने में अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि भैया एक दूसरे से मार धाड़ करके या एक दूसरे का बुरा करके या एक दूसरे को मतलब मार के कुछ हासिल नहीं होने वाला है, बल्कि यू हैव बीन टॉट टू लव ईच अदर, बी कंपैशनेट टू ईच अदर एंड यू शुड रिस्पेक्ट एवरी सोल। तो ये समझदारी या ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो मतलब 1% से भी कम लोगों में है। तो why is it so that God has created a soul, all these souls, but understanding इतनी limited क्यों है? Why every soul is not born with this same understanding of compassion, love, peace, harmony? Why is it that?
Yeah, because they are evolving from the lower forms. Lower forms is always from the root chakra to the third eye chakra. That is the journey that we are as a human beings, right? All other life forms, the consciousness is hardwired at the root chakra. Root chakra means what? Survival. Correct?
Okay.
So root chakra means survival, means what? You are operating from the lowest form of existence, which is starting from tamas.
तो
वो तामसिक से ही शुरू होगा.
हाँ, तो मेरा क्वेश्चन यही फिर वहीं का वहीं आ जाता है कि why the evolution, why is every human being first having to go through that tamas thing and then only
that is the path of evolution. You can't come from satogun to uttam. You will never come from satogun to tamogun. You will always go from tamogun to satogun, no? Consciousness तो 0 से ऊपर जाएगी ना, 100 से 0 थोड़ी ना आएगी. Try to understand what I'm trying to say. First, you were in the mineral kingdom. Mineral kingdom means what? The stones, the mountains. They can't move, they can't grow. Then you come to the plant kingdom. They can grow, but they can't move. Then they come to animal kingdom. They can move, they can grow. Okay? Land, water, air. Pani may be, jal may be, thal may be, gagan may be. Right? And then you have human kingdom. So human kingdom has come after a long wait. इन सबको पार करके आया है human kingdom. But the consciousness will always ride from the tamogun only. पहले आपको अपने विकारों को पार करना ही पड़ेगा. काम, क्रोध, मोह, लोभ, मद, मत्सर, ये हैं विकार. You have to go through the grind, rise above them. That is what the spiritual journey is all about. That is why the right understanding is important. You should know where you are. Then you can go where you want to. But if you simply have no understanding and if you think, मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ, I am full of desires, I will live with desires and I will die with desires, I will kill people and loot everything, then you are stuck in tamogun for maybe as many lifetimes as you want. You take as many lifetimes as you want, fulfill all your desires there, then only you will move ahead. But if you have the right understanding, you will quickly move through that in one lifetime only. So the process is understanding where you are and moving fast. So now we have that understanding. So you are right. Not even 1% is a very big percentage you have said. Okay. 800 करोड़ अगर हम मान लें, 800 करोड़ में से 8 करोड़ को इतनी knowledge नहीं है. In fact, 8 लाख को भी नहीं है. Okay, so it is 0.01% that you are thinking of. Right understanding, when I say I'm talking of self-realized souls who are Siddha, the self-realized seers, the messengers of God. And they have been crucified, by the way. The people who came and said that you should love each other, they were crucified. People who said you are divine were crucified, right? They were killed. So you have to understand the society doesn't agree with many of the seers. Most of them were worshipped only after they were killed. Yes. So it is dangerous to be an enlightened soul. You never know who is going to crucify you. Right? Anyway, jokes apart, but yes, that is the journey that we are in. So self-realization is the first and the foremost important, you can say, milestone in your life. First you become self-realized, then you can carry 100 or 1,000 people along with you. So the first thing is right understanding, right realization, self-realization, God realization. Then you achieve that and then you show others how to achieve that. That is the path. And that is why we are having these sessions here. So that we can learn about spirituality and we can talk about spirituality to people so that you are moving on the right journey. That is the path, right? Yes, Tony. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, I still
You
haven't
still have.
got. Yeah,
So dwell
I
in
still
that.
haven't got the clarity.
Dwell in that, and we will carry on the discussion in the next session.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But today you have got a lot of thought, a lot of food for thought. तो जो भी आपके बिलीफ सिस्टम है उनको चैलेंज करो, जो भी बिलीफ सिस्टम है चैलेंज करो, and do not stop. Drop all your belief system till you reach a universal law. I've been saying this many times in my programs. Whatever is your belief system, keep dropping that belief system until you reach a universal law. And what is the universal law? You should know that. Whether you understand them or not, you should first know what are the universal laws. Then see how it is applying in your life. If you are not aware of the universal law, that is not a reason for you to ignore it. Just for example, if you don't understand law of gravity, that doesn't mean that you're not responsible for the injury which is going to happen if you jump out of the window. You say, I'm not aware of the law of gravity. Too bad. It is always working. So you should know. Law of attraction always works, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not. Law of gravity will always work, whether you believe it or not. खिड़की से बाहर कूदोगे तो नीचे ही गिरोगे. ये law of gravity है. Correct? So you have to use that properly. Knowingly, you have to use it. If you're not aware of it, that is too bad for you. You will break your bones, or possibly you could die. So understanding the universal laws, applying that in your life and seeing how your life is being shaped by these universal laws is the right understanding. So first get that understanding in, and then be bold enough and brave enough to ask questions to God. And by the way, I will finish this topic with only one thing. The only thing that you should actually ask God if he comes in front of you is that, thank you God for this lifetime. Thank you God for the life that I have, for whatever I have in my life. Thank you very much. That is the first conversation you should have with God. And then ask him, how can I fulfill your will? We often say divine will be done. What is your divine will? How do I fit into that? Please guide me so that I can fulfill the divine will. These are the things you should ask God. Then it will fulfill your purpose of life. And then you are fulfilling the divine purpose of your creation on this planet Earth. That is the real conversation, right? So we'll pick up more on this in the next session. And if you have any questions right now, I'll take that. Otherwise, we close for the session today and till we meet in the next Wednesday session. Any questions? Last and final call. No questions. So I hope everybody is going back with their questions answered, right? All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy a great day. Enjoy a great week. Till we meet next Wednesday. Till then, Aham Brahmasmi.
Thank you, Shashi. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.
Take care. Good night.